Hey, yo, what up, though, fellas? Back at it again with another video. Because, we improving every day. I just left the facial and massage spa. Feeling good as hell, man. Make sure y'all are treating yourselves, man. Make sure y'all treating yourselves. Make sure y'all treating other people well so they gift you with things. That was a gift. I got a free massage and a little gift card I was gifted. But anyway, as you see by the title today, we are going to be talking about a common myth that is actually not so common. Let me correct myself. It's a myth that is common amongst a certain community of black people. And you're going to understand what that community is in a minute. Probably as soon as I say it, you'll understand what kind of, or not what kind of, but what community of black people say this and actually believe it to be true, right? So I was surfing some content, some manosphere content, as I've been doing the past few weeks, really trying to investigate and get a sense of where a lot of these guys' heads is at. And it's embarrassing to say the least, but that's not the point. I heard a guy say almost verbatim, I'm not going to quote it, but almost verbatim, I heard a content creator say, in the black community, you're either one of two men. He said, you're either one of two men. He said, you're either the educated lame or you the thug. That's what he said almost verbatim. I'm not adding nothing. I'm not taking nothing out. This is what he said. He said, you're either one of two men. You're either the educated lame or you the thug. And when I heard that, I didn't know whether to laugh. I didn't know whether to sigh in disappointment. I didn't know if I wanted to just sit back and take a bath or some shit, bro. Like I didn't know what to do when I heard that, because it was so asinine when I heard it. I'm like, where do these dudes be at, bro? To really sit there and think that it's true and then get online and tell people that. Telling hundreds of people that in the black community it's only two kind of men, educated lames and thugs. That doesn't even make sense, even a little bit. You feel me? So we gonna talk about that. From my perspective, we're going to try to break down where that comes from, why they believe that, and then we simply just gonna debunk it. So first, where do I think that myth comes from? And why do I think certain guys say it? In my opinion, right? In my opinion, the guys who believe this is true, you either one or two guys, educated lame or a thug. In my opinion, the guys who believe this to be true are usually on the educated lame side, right? You don't usually catch a thug saying you either a thug or a lame. You don't usually hear that. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, these guys are going to be educated lames, for one. And two, aside from being an educated lame, they're going to be non-select. What does non-select mean for anyone who doesn't know? Non-select, to paraphrase, is when a man is not generally attracted to women. Not generally. So if he walks in a room of 10 women, maybe, at least one of the chicks is going to think he attractive, but maybe like 1 to 4, 1 to 3 of the chicks is going to find him attractive. If that. Hopefully at least one. But usually these guys are going to be educated lames and they're going to be non-select, right? A lot of this argument stems from high school. A lot of this argument stems from high school, middle school. We talked about this ad nauseum. When, yes, if you went to high school in the inner city and you black, you went to high school in the inner city, you probably did see a lot of the chicks being drawn to the thugs, to the D-boys, to the gangsters, because of the energy that they brought, and partially because of the things they had. It was never because, he commits crime, so I'm attracted to him. It's like, no, it's the energy that gives off. He's a risk taker. He's putting himself in dangerous situations on a daily basis or weekly basis. Hopefully he was committing crime for some money. I would hope he not just committing crime to commit crime. So these guys had money, so they knew how to make bread. A lot of these guys, they had to make it on their own, doing dangerous things. So it was the energy that they brought. And these non-select educated lame guys couldn't bring that energy. They didn't know how to have that energy. They didn't even know that it was energy to begin with. They thought they were just getting rejected by chicks because, he's smart and he does his work and he's going to be something in the future. So I don't like him. That's what they think, and that's how they feel. So they've carried that angst on and on and on as they've gotten older, right? You watch out for this truck right here. I don't know what this truck is doing. But anyways, so that's where it comes from. When they saw the thugs or the drug dealers or, you know, the gangsters getting the girls in high school or in middle school in the streets, they thought that was how real life was. You know, and a lot of these guys were actually social outcasts. So they grew to be social outcasts, so they didn't know people who were the in-between. They didn't know people who weren't educated lames. They didn't pay attention to people who weren't thugs because they were looking at the guys take the girls who they wanted, and a lot of them didn't have peers. And if they did have peers, they were like them. So a lot of the educated lame non-select dudes had educated lame non-select friends. You understand what I'm saying? And so they didn't know there were guys in between. They just didn't notice it. So they grew up thinking either you me or you him. You know, it's either him or me. There is no in between. There's only two kind of men in the black community. And debunking that is very simple. Look at your average black man. Look at your average black man. Your average black man is not going to be on one side of the spectrum. He's average. And I'm not talking about average in terms of money or anything like that. I mean just your regular everyday black man that you would see when you walk in Target or when you walk in the barbershop or, you know, things like that in daily life. The average man is not going to be on one end of the spectrum. That's the whole point of being average. He's going to be somewhere in the middle. He might teeter towards one side. He'll probably teeter towards the other side. But usually he's not just going to be a thug or an educated lame, right? Me, for example, I'm not a thug. I'm nowhere near a thug. But I'm a university student. I go to the University of Michigan. You understand what I'm saying? I'm nowhere near a thug. I left the streets a long time ago. I'm nowhere near a thug. But I'm nowhere near an educated lame either. I've never been considered lame. Never been considered lame. But am I educated? Yes, I am. Am I educated? Yes, I am. But I've never been considered lame. So I'm not an educated lame, nor am I a thug. I'm simply just a black man trying to live his goddamn life, you feel me? But do you get what I'm saying in all seriousness? The average viewer of my channel is not going to be an educated lame or a thug. He'll be somewhere in between. He might lean more towards the educated lame side, or he might lean more towards the thug side. But either way, most guys watching this are not going to be on one side of the spectrum. Very defiantly, at least. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of these guys, that social outcast life, that life of never really being around people unlike yourself, that life of never really being around anybody other than fellow educated lames, fellow non-select dudes, and that life of paying attention to the girls you want and the women that you want go to men who are the opposite of you. That's a life that's going to breed this mindset of you're either him or me, because there is no in between. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's going to breed inside of his head. When he's never affiliated with just some normal, regular, everyday, cool black men. There's nothing in his experience that was my water, excuse that. There's nothing in his life that's going to show him that there is a in-between. He would have no reason to think that. So I don't get mad at them saying it. I just think it's goofy. I think it's silly. I think it tells me a lot about who they are. When I hear a dude say it's only two kind of men in the black community, I'm like, well, I mean, all my friends is not thugs. I'm not friends with any educated lames. So I need answers. I need answers because I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to ask you questions because you made that strong ass claim that was completely false. You feel what I'm saying? And the thing is with these educated lames, bro, you know, when I first heard about what educated lames were, at first I feel sorry for them. But as time goes on, I don't. I've lost that I feel for you attitude because they make all these claims that are completely false, trying to claim it as something they teaching on YouTube, and they carry a lot of bitterness towards other black men and damn near every black woman. You know what I'm saying? They're blaming the rest of the community for their problems. Okay, you grew up a social outcast, bro. That's not my fault. That's not my man's fault. That's not my girl's fault. That's not our fault you grew up and you didn't fit in with the other black people. It's not our fault you grew up non-select and you didn't evolve into select as you got older. You know, and there's nothing wrong with being non-select. Most guys are non-select. There's nothing wrong with plenty non-select guys have happy sex lives, happy marriages. They date happily. Plenty of them got happy families. You don't have to be select to be happy with women in life. That's not what I'm saying. But when you've been extremely non-select, you walk in a room with 10 women and only one or none find you attractive, I can understand why you would be bitter. I understand why you would be bitter. And I don't got nothing wrong with you being bitter. Just why be bitter and then spread lies on YouTube trying to claim that you teaching people something? That's what I have a problem with. That's what I got an issue with. When you say, damn, I don't like other black men because they took all the girls I wanted. They take all the women I want. I don't like other black women because, you know, just like the incel video I made yesterday, all the women are either Instagram thoughts or fat, lazy chicks who work 9 to 5s. But now I'm gonna come on YouTube and tell all the black youngsters, you know, the youth, I'm gonna tell this 16-year-old black kid that's watching me, or I'm gonna tell this freshly divorced 46-year-old black man that all the women are hoes and sluts and all the men are just gonna take the women you want. All the thugs are gonna take the women you want, excuse me. That's what I have a problem with, because you steering people in the wrong direction. I'm gonna stop rambling though, because I could talk about this ad nauseum. You know, I can make this a whole live stream, but this ain't a live stream, obviously. So we gonna cut it here, dog. That's the topic for the day, man. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace.